I'm Rodgers, the Activista coordinator based in Johannesburg in South Africa. Activista is ActionAid's global youth campaigning network, where we're based in 30 countries in Africa, America, Asia, and Europe. And we're fighting for human rights for all and an end to poverty. So why is there a need for Activista? So we see a world filled with global scale economic crisis, widespread inequality, vast amounts of man-made poverty. We're dealing with multiple issues from climate change to unemployment to multiple forms of exclusion, in particular for those in vulnerable or marginalized groups. But at the same time, the world is witnessing the largest generation of young people ever. Young people who are drivers of social change. We have seen young people bring change from the 1960s with the American Civil Rights Movement to the end of apartheid. During the last decade, youth have also re-emerged as a powerful catalyst for social movements and agents of change in societies. Global youth have led several radical and reformist social struggles in more than 25 countries, including Brazil, Greece, Tunisia, Morocco, and many, many more. Activista helps to link local, national, and international struggles, bridging the gap between the local struggles of young, less visible, and marginalized people living in poverty with progressive social movements. Who are these people in Activista? So Activista is a global community of young people, young leaders coming together across boundaries of class, gender, ethnicity, and age. We have young farmers from Kenya, urban slum dwellers from Kathmandu, former sponsored children from Bangladesh, middle-class youth in Denmark, and young farmer unions in El Salvador. Activista links youth living in poverty to middle-class youth, youth living in rural areas with youth living in urban areas, youth in the south with youth in the north. So how does Activista work? So Activista is working to empower and enable young people to actively participate in the decision-making and political processes that affect their lives through campaigning, empowerment, and solidarity. We advance women's rights and youth leadership, supporting people living in poverty to become conscious of their rights, organize and claim their rights, and hold duty bearers to account. We have the courage to trust young women and men to bring transformation and the change that they want to see. We believe that an end to poverty and injustice can be achieved through purposeful, individual and collective action led by the active agency of young people and their movements. We believe that youth and youth-led social movements hold a tremendous potential of confronting the political status quo. So some of the activities that these young people are doing to bring this change include campaigning on some of the key issues around tax justice. For example, in Zambia, we have groups of young people that are challenging companies, including Barclays, and where they're paying their taxes, which has an impact on the access to public services for young people and women. We also have a campaign called Safe Cities for Women campaign, which is being led by a lot of the young people in various countries. In South Africa, it's about reclaiming public spaces that are not safe for women and young women in particular to be using on a day-to-day basis. Young people in communities in Tanzania, including in Bagamoyo, stopped companies from stealing land from the communities that were living there. And in Kenya, they stopped the World Bank from taking land from the slum dwellers in Kibera and not giving them any compensation. They also, activists in West Africa have also been educating young people on the dangers of migration, which is a huge issue at the moment, of these huge amounts of young people traveling from West Africa to Europe. So ActionAid supports the activistas by empowering them to lead the campaigns. We do various types of capacity building with them. The centre is called Global Platforms, which are spaces for building capacity on youth activism. This can be anything from strategy development, to feminist leadership, to creative campaigning, to social media actions, etc. We support them by doing various amounts of research to understand what the different issues are, by making sure that they are always leading the campaigns in their communities and always leading the campaigns in their countries. What inspires young people to join Activista networks? Young people around the world see the different issues that other people around the world are facing. They want to bring unity between the allies struggling in different social settings towards the same objectives. They want to bring change to global issues that are affecting the different individuals. And they want to be connected. They want to see what other people's lives are like. They want to be inspired by other young people, and they want to work with other young people.